Hey, good morning. Morning. Yeah, God bless America for Veterans Day. My actual my my scholarship tournament is actually in the name of the 13 fallen soldiers in Afghanistan. We're doing a whole big thing about the flag this weekend. So feeling a little patriotic today. So we go with the American flag background. I'm digging it. Today is, I believe, the birthday of the Marines. Right? This is today's the Marines' birthday, the day before Veterans Day. I think I'm correct with that. I'm gonna double check now. Yep, November 10th. Cool. Yeah, God bless our soldiers. God bless our Marines. I have a lot of family. Well, not a lot, but I have five or six members of my family who've been in active service. We could talk a little bit about this before we open up here. This is this week so far, guys. These are the levels for this week. Nasdaq is totally bounced off our 16,378 level that we were talking about for a while. Right now, the market is for the week so far. This is down. We're in the middle of a down week so far. It's only 2 days in, really, two full days in. But interesting enough, we are backwards right now. So here we are. Let's clean up this chart a little bit here. Let's clean up Russell. I don't know what, what kind of music this is. I just clicked on a on one of these copyright free music. Some of them are cool. Some of them are weird, like animal sounds and stuff. That make no sense. Yeah, you know what? I don't know. It's funny that like, my wife thinks I'm going through like a midlife crisis with this stuff, but I mean, I'm pushing 40 years old right now. If you're in the chat watching, make sure you're cool. Yeah, I'm pushing 40 years old right now, and I mean, I've been blessed. I've had a good life, and I'm at the age now where I kind of want to do something like. I mean, my theory is that everything that we do is in some way or some shape selfish, right? Not even like mean in a bad way or anything like that, but in general, though, we do good things because they make us feel good. I mean, that's why good people do good things, right? I mean, the basis of that, of doing something good for somebody, is because you feel good, whether you know them and you're helping out, like a friend or family or a neighbor or whatever. We do good things because they make us feel good. This is my theory, and I've had a million conversations about this. So I wanted to do something not for someone that I know, but someone that I don't know. And I mean, and the basis still is that it does make me feel good that I'm running the scholarship, and I raised a couple $1,000s for this. Who I actually I read the application from this young lady. She's exceptional. I'm so glad that someone like this is getting this award, and this scholarship that I started there will be in every year scholarship. It's actually really really cool. But in any case, so I wanted to start something under for someone that I didn't know. So I actually had a friend in the local high school here. So I reached out and said, "Listen, I'm looking to do something, but I want to do something like special." And all that stuff in Afghanistan that just went on. So I said, "I want to do something under the name of those 13 fallen soldiers." So what I came to is that I'm gonna run this tournament of sorts under the name of those 13 fallen soldiers in Afghanistan, and I'm going to do it for a young lady or a young man, a future leader in the ROTC program. So that's what I decided to do. So now, actually, this weekend we're going to be presenting. I have a whole thing set up there. I have cadets coming to the event. They're going to present the colors. I may or may not have a news team there. I'm on the calendar. They told me that they won't know until like that weekend, unfortunately. But we have got some kind of write ups and local stuff, whatever. We have gotten a couple sponsors as well. So now, yeah, it's gonna be so cool. So I have to open up this. It's gonna be a golf event. So to open it up there, I have cadets that'll be singing the national anthem. That are gonna be presenting the colors. That are gonna be in formation. Afterwards, we'll take pictures with them and stuff. Then we're gonna obviously play golf and play the tournament. All the proceeds are going to the scholarship, and after that, we have the banquet. And the banquet, the scholarship recipient, she's going to be making a speech. I have one gentleman in my club has an active service. He was actually like he fought for it, right? So he's going to make a speech. I'm probably going to make a little bit of a speech too. But it's so cool, and it just came from an idea. And all it takes is a good idea, just in life, right? So I had this idea. A couple of my friends said, "Listen, this is a good idea. We like it. We want to be involved in it." And now all of a sudden, I have a scholarship fund. I'm incorporated. I have a business this is going to be going through it. It's so cool, and all it takes is an idea, guys. And I'm not saying that's going to change the world, because it's not. It's not going to. It won't even change this young woman's life, but it's a start. So I am very proud of that. I'm very happy to announce that. Yeah, I will be running a scholarship this weekend for a young ROTC member. Yeah, no, I'm happy, and I mean, and I'm friggin' lucky as hell. I have a fantastic wife. I mean, she's just absolutely super. She's supportive of everything. She'll be actually there doing the registration table. I mean, yeah, I'm blessed, and that's kind of the point of it. Is that at my age now, it's not just about what I can gain or what I can kind of build up. It's really what I can do now to kind of make a little bit of a difference. I mean, I know that sounds corny, and I'm not trying to make this sound like a Hallmark commercial or anything, but I'm in a place now, God willing, luckily, that I'm able to put time in. And a lot of time, this has been going on for 3 months setups. I have weekly meetings with the golf course that we're going. I have weekly meetings with my team. I guess my quote unquote cup committee, I guess you could say, right? So a lot of hours have been putting this, even setting up the different tools for the event, like the digital scorecard, and I had a little touch of Excel and Google Sheets for a little bit, but I just kind of taught myself how to do this live. I have a website for this now. We're all over social media for this. It's a really cool thing that hopefully by the next couple of years, from word of mouth, that blows up, where I get a lot of businesses that are kind of contributing to this, and it's 100% payback. Everything that comes in, it goes. I make $1 from nothing. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm just hoping the weather holds up. So I picked this weekend, right? Now, I have a golf league that I run. I've actually two of them. The fall league just ended. So I want to go after that, but also Veterans Day, I thought, how cool would it be to have this thing on Veterans Day weekend, right? So it's this weekend now, which kind of made sense. Hopefully the weather holds up. But yeah, so I have a lot going on. So this week, guys, if I'm not around as much, please bear with me. I try to be available as much as possible, even after this. But I've been going back and forth trying to get everything else straightened out with opening up bank accounts and have to do that a certain way. Because everything. It's not just okay. Here's money. You got to do everything like I don't know. You got to do everything in like sync, I guess. So I taught myself how to how to get a non-for-profit. Actually, the young lady who won the award, she started a non-for-profit. I thought it was so cool. Her non-for-profit, actually, she calls and gets donations of people to donate like school supplies, and they give these school supplies to kids that come from families that just can't afford them right now. Among several other clubs that she's involved in, all for the good of her community. That was the main one that got me. I'm like, wow, she actually started. At 16, 17 years old, like I never started a non-for-profit. I'm 40. I'm just kind of getting my feet wet with this stuff now, this philanthropy stuff. So for me, it made all the sense in the world, and I'm very excited that it goes smooth. I will be all over social media with this stuff. It's going to be posted everywhere. It's going to be a great time. Market open. Let's see what we got here. I'm getting lost in my stuff. All right, let's just. I normally make my boxes earlier. Hey, good morning. It's because with OBS, it kind of can lag a little bit. So let's just. Okay, bring you guys VWAP until I get the open and hedge pressure going here. All right, so bear with me for a little bit until I get situated here. Yeah, American flag. It's for Veterans Day weekend. Today is the birthday of the Marines, actually. If you know any Marines, thank them. Semper Fi, hoorah. Hoorah, hoorah. Today being November 10th, and hedge pressure starting at, looks like, my head hurts. It's like 469. See, this is what I mean. Like, some of these beats are kind of cool from this free copyright, but this is awful, right? I don't know what the hell this is. Let's, yeah, this one is, all right. All right, so we got 489 hedge pressure for SPY, 88.87. We got some put walls right behind, and it looks like 89 and 70, some call walls. Let's just put them in real quick. Look at this. We're opening up underneath hedge pressure. When's the last time we saw that? Interesting. I've been having a problem pulling monthlies. Let me see if I can pull a monthly. 462.5. Okay, let's get this monthly going here too. I'm not concerned about missing anything in the open. I am not trading this open. I am not trading the open. I will not make a trade till 10 o'clock. Yesterday, if you guys are watching me, I got burned in the morning. Got it back, went up +2 something, but I'm not trading the open. I'm sticking to my guns today. So it's gonna be a little bit, but I'm not in a rush to get everything in right now. But I am trying to go quick so I can hang out with you guys. All right. Looks like 387.5. $387.5 for NASDAQ here. Interesting. NASDAQ is opening up above hedge pressure. SPY is opening. I'm going to double check that. Oh, hold on. That was that's why. That was monthly's 387.5. That makes more sense. So let's fix that. And hedge pressure is 397.5. There we go. I'll tell you, every day I'm getting more and more of the camp. I don't even want to touch shorts. Yesterday I did hit a short that got me positive, but more and more I don't even want to take shots. I just want to look for long setups and just kind of do it that way. And every day, every morning I say when I'm thinking about the strategy and I'm going over what's going on, 8 o'clock, I'm in front of my computer. I'm just checking out everything and seeing where I am for the day and what I'm thinking. And I always say, I've been saying it more and more, like I just want to stick long and not even concerned about the shorts. Until it switches over and it gets out of this tremendous bull market, which this week is not looking bullish, right, guys? I mean, I'll put the levels up here while I'm still setting up my hedge pressures, but I mean, this is the week. This is everything. You have the S&P top left. S&P bottom left. You have NASDAQ top left. You have the Dow top right, and you have the Russell bottom right. And from where they opened up this week to where they are right now, well, Russell is actually right about even, but NASDAQ, S&P not looking too great right now for the morning, or for the week. And lastly, let's get looks like 238 for Russell. All right, so Dow and Russell is still above hedge pressure, but S&P and NASDAQ are not. Let's pop in some walls here. I'm pulling. It says that it's reacted here. I have weeklies. Yeah, I'm pulling weeklies now. It's saying it's for today, 9:30:52. I'm looking at 398. Wait, hold on. Let me just 397.5. I'm looking at for QQ. I'm looking at 469 for SPY. I'll double check those. Yeah, I'm pulling. I was having troubles last week, and I think it was Monday. Oh, wait a minute. Timestamp is saying Tuesday. I'm looking at current expiration 10/11/10. Hold on. Oop. Timestamp is saying Tuesday. Yeah, hold on. You are correct. You would think I'd realize that was same as yesterday. Yep. Not pulling. All right, we'll reach out and see what's going on with that. Meantime, let's get this off. Well, that's weird because actually, why is Russell's different? Russell pulled? Yeah, Russell pulled. Okay, so Russell pulled 238. Yeah, it looks like the Dow pulled. SPY didn't pull. And NASDAQ didn't pull. All right, so let me get rid of those walls fast. Hey, thanks. Listen, guys, always double check me. I'm just too busy yapping over here that I didn't realize I'm putting in kind of yesterday's numbers. So let's not go through that. All right, cool. That makes a lot more. I was wondering why, like, we're really far away, and from one like not so great day, would we be that far under or under hedge? All right, that makes sense. So yeah, my dad is not pulling right now. We're not going to trade off of or for that until we get that fixed, which is fine. We have other methods we'll talk about. First things first, let's go over our levels, right? So let's take a peek. I appreciate you, buddy. So I've been talking about this level here for weeks, right? I mean, this is nothing new. So for NASDAQ, we got our confirmation on October 18th. It looked like the first level setup here. We got our confirmation here for a second level. So we're in great shape with our levels here, right? We finally broke through. It took about a week to get to the next level. Consolidated above. We said, hey, next level up right now. We're looking 16,378. Sure as heck. We got three. We actually broke through. Didn't close over there. The close over would have been big. And if you guys remember, this was not even like a week ago, right? I think it was last Wednesday. Yeah, 11/5, right? That's last 5 days ago. No, maybe last Friday. So we broke above, and I said it's very important. I was posting all over the place too. It's very important to end over 16,378 for the next move up if we are going to move up. Sure enough, it closed underneath it, which is fine if you guys take a look here. We closed underneath it. We actually then finally used it as resistance. So we got an overpop, two overpops here. The market was flying for that point. We ended below, used it as resistance, retested it. A third retest now. Three retests to me is telling me it's going to break. A fourth one, and I'm betting on that break hard, right? So we didn't break it though. We actually triggered around it, and then that's when yesterday's sell-off took place. And we got that not sell-off, more profit taken. I guess you could say both, but felt like profit taken to me because we had our completion of a level. Market took some money back. Sure enough, stayed down there, open morning, and now we got down to 1640 and it popping up. So if this is continuing here, 15,391 looks like, right? Sometimes my eyes can't see these things either. 15,391.5 would be the next level down. If we're going to start jumping around level, we're going to start chopping in between. That's where we'd be looking at. So, guys, as I've seen before, I'm not trading the open. The only thing I would ever use to trade the open would be hedge pressure and resilience, and I don't have hedge pressure right now, so I will not be trading the open. But we will be looking for setups later on. So, anyways, this is what I'm looking at right now, right? So now we kind of even have this little range guy here, even trending off of this guy. Yeah. So this is what I'm looking at right now, just to see what goes on. This is kind of the area that I'm looking at here. So this is starting to trend down, right? So I'm not looking for any longs here in this downward looking channel, guy. I'm gonna wait for a break up and I'll look for longs later on. So I might be out of an asset. Maybe I'll scalp 5 or 10 points here and there for it, but I'm not looking for anything right now from this. This is going the wrong way. So that's NASDAQ. Let's take a look at S&P. So S&P gave us our first confirmation for our levels that we were in the right spot, and that was a couple weeks ago. Looks like October 18th. Bouncing up in this nice little trend up here. We broke through and we were holding well 46.68. It finally gave it up yesterday. I don't know if you guys follow me on Twitter or StockTwits, but I made a post there. Place your bets here, because that would have been the support to bump up there or a breakdown. It's actually still consolidating around here, so I was only half right. I knew where the fight was, but the break hasn't happened yet. But that 46.68 has been important for a while. Now, if it is going to continue up, which at some point I would imagine it's going to, 47.85 is looking at the final completion for the S&P. Now, the last time we broke and hold through a level was October 26th, it looks. Well, October 25th, the end of the day, we broke through that 45.51, 75 level for S&P. From that point on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It took pretty much 8 days to fill the next level. So we were consolidating above 46.68. I said if everything else is holding true, 46.68, 47.85 would take around 8 days to get there. Now 1, 2, 3, 4 days in already, and we're losing ground on it. So it might take a little longer to get to that 47.85 number, or maybe this is the momentum shift. That might bring it back down, 45.51. That's possible. So we're kind of considering that right now as well. So you got a lot of things going on, but that's where I'm looking at right now. So if we hold under, if we can't break 46.68 and end above that, I'm betting on a move down, which I don't like betting down, so I'm probably going to stay out of this though. But the next level of support, the major level I have is 45.51. And we can do this. Well, let's just get back. I want to keep the levels at 3-day levels. One, two, three. And we'll keep the high. All right. 1, 2, 3. We have our 3 levels there. Cool. And 3 here. Awesome. All right. So that's kind of what's going on in the major markets right now, right? You guys can see here, Russell also got to that 2462.9 and used that as resistance. So everything used its major levels as resistance, which is why the market was going down. We couldn't get that breakthrough and hold. That wasn't happening. Anyway, guys, so if you're back in, I'm holding off on the open there. Let's try pressure again for NASDAQ. And nope, still not reading. Okay. So, yeah, I'm out of the morning tree. I'm not getting into anything super crazy right now. And right now, I'm kind of glad I'm not, though, because it's kind of flying around all over the place, right? This is a 15-minute chart, and it's kind of popping up and down here. So imagine off like a VWAP. So I'm okay right now. We had a break on the VWAP for Russell, break above, tested again, break up, right? So we're kind of just all over the place, using VWAP as a little bit of a launching pad, but nothing too quick. Yesterday we were talking about, and I thought it was pretty cool, and I'm going to say it again now. most, well, not, I don't want to say most, a lot of really good traders trade the morning and they hit the morning really hard. All right. They get their direction and they just kind of go for that. And that's fine. Like that level of expertise, I'm sure they didn't start killing the opens. I'm sure they just got really, really good and started killing opens later on. And I compared it to, like, let's say that you're reading, this is how I got to this discussion. What my stats say that my afternoon trades, like my lunchtime trades, my anywhere from like that 10:30, 11 o'clock range, like the 2:30 range, is my best time for trading. My stats have been better at close also as opposed to open. But in any case, reason being is that in the morning there's so much volume, the moves are so severe that that when you're right, you're making that money quicker. Now maybe their setups are better for the opens than mine are. Well, I'm guessing they're definitely better at the open. Their setups definitely better at the open than mine are. But it's like if let's say you're watching a movie, like let's say you're watching Squid Games, right? We talked about Squid Games last week. Let's say you're watching it with captions. Now, let's say the captions last 2 seconds to read a paragraph. You're going to breeze through it as quick as you can and think, okay, and try to get the main gist out of it, but you're not going to truly understand what's going on. Now, let's say they had those captions on for like a minute. Well, you're going to read it slowly and understand everything. Well, that's kind of like what the market is from lunchtime to open. At open, it's like everything is flying by real quick, so you don't really understand. You can't get the full grasp of it. But the setups, for me, are easier to see in that like 10:30, 11:30 kind of the setup there. And the reason being because I have more time to kind of digest what's going on in the market. I can put together, okay, well, this is looking bullish. This setup is here. This is the pullback over here. Where for me at the open there, everything is just kind of so fast paced that unless I had a team of people kind of opening with me, and like, listen, I'm covering this, you cover that, you cover that. And I'm sure a lot of these think tanks do that anyway, but I don't have that. So I'm myself. So instead of me just kind of going, okay, well, this looks good right now, and all of a sudden it's not good, and I'm already down 25 points in for the NASDAQ trade, I sit out of opens for the most part, unless everything is lining up pre-market, right? Or unless I get into a trade early, which I do sometimes. Like let's say that I'm up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and everything, like when things are kind of still slowing down, the setup is great. So let's say I catch like a 4-hour pivot at like 6 a.m. that's going up, and it continues to go up until 9 o'clock. I'll hold into it open because I'm probably plus 20 points at that point, 30 points at that point. So those are different reasons why I would hold that at open. But for the most part, my stats when I'm setting trades in from the first 10, 15 minutes are not that good. It's actually disheartening how bad I am at the open. You guys saw it yesterday. Yesterday, I thought the setup looked great for a long, and everything just kind of kaplunked. I got into a couple of really good shorts to get me back on the positive, but that happens. So no more open trades for me, unless always but it's always a but. Whenever I'm arguing with my wife, which is very rare, we don't really fight too much. I always say there's always a but. No matter what you say, there's always gonna be a but after that. Like, leave the but out. You want to have a happy life, leave but out of your comment. Whenever you're apologizing or you're talking about something, don't use the word but. Never helps. All right, so 950 we got here. I am so far away from getting into a trade. I think it's pretty cool that yesterday we were talking about 36,112 for the Dow. That it was I'll actually show you guys. Yesterday when everything was dipping here, we had some red lines drawn up, and we used our pivot screen for it. And still holding true right now for the Dow at 36,112. We broke a little above. We did break through 36,212, which was the red line, and we immediately dropped back down again. As for the whole market right now, everything is still below its red line from yesterday. I'm not putting too much stock in that because those are the numbers based on yesterday's retraces and whatnot, but they are holding true right now. So we're gonna leave them on the board for a little bit. But for today, we're going to be going up probably VWAP and levels. Will be if we do get into any trades today. I could see VWAP and levels being those. We'll see. Who knows? You know, it's sad. I'm just talking because I'm not in any trades right now, so I'm just going to kind of talk and BS a little bit with you guys. it's sad that, I mean, I love Christmas, right? It's still my favorite holiday. My birthday's right around Christmas too. I will be 40 this year, which is scary in itself. But Christmas, all these, I mean, Thanksgiving is a cool holiday too. We do enjoy Thanksgiving a lot. We do have a nice setup for Thanksgiving. But the major holidays, Easter, right? I get it, birth of Christ, not the birth, that's Christmas. So the resurrection of Christ, Valentine's Day, which is the biggest made up holiday in the world. Like, but nothing gets worse than that. 4th of July, really cool. But like Veterans Day, like these kind of days, they don't get as much like I don't know, commercial press, I guess. Besides the sales, right? If you want to buy a mattress, you wait until Veterans Day or Memorial's Day, but you'll get this kind of sense of that. And I guess the culture that's built up for it is that if kids don't get presents from it, it sounds like a celebrated holiday. Christmas, right, is the biggest one. Santa comes and you get all your gifts. Easter too, Easter baskets, the Easter bunny, and that kind of stuff. But when I was growing up, the Easter was more for candy, right? We didn't really get games and like toys and stuff. Maybe Grandma would throw us one here or there, but we didn't really get a lot of that stuff. It was just like the Reese's peanut butter cup eggs, which I love. But Christmas is the big one because the kids are into it. So the kids are into it, then all the corporations are into it because they're going to make their money off of that. So Christmas became as big as it is. But like the Veterans Day, like those kind of days, they don't get as much love. 4th of July is a big one, actually. That does get some love, but Veterans Day doesn't. I guess the point I'm trying to say as I'm rambling on here is, actually, I don't know. I don't know what the point was for that. I was just talking. Yeah, I know. The point, I guess, is that corporations run the world. They even run our holidays, and they tell us what holidays are important or not. This is looking to catch up some from yesterday here. Let's get some trends to let's try to contain this guy, right? So we're gonna go to our levels here. We're gonna look at a broader scope here, and if we're gonna take any trades, there might be from a bigger range today than normal. Let's see what we got here. So we have an obvious trend here. Let's see if this holds up for S&P. We're gonna keep that guy there. You know what? I don't want. I'll leave that too, actually. So I'm going to leave our channel for NASDAQ. I'm going to add a trend line here. Let's just, not for a trade. Let's just see what the reaction it does here or not. I'm not looking to take this trade. I might take the top of this here, right? If this gets to like the 1630, we'll see the reaction there. I don't want it to break. I don't want a new high here. If I am going to short this, I would need confirmation from really S&P. If it is going to break down even more than this, but I don't want to short this. I don't want it to break 16,241. For this to go down again, I think it has to go. Actually, it might be off the trend line. Let's find some other areas here. All right, I'm gonna make the play that the Russell already broke a trend right here, which it did. I'm just looking for a break in direction here. So the Russell's the first one to kind of break through a little bit here, right? Let's see if we can get that continuation anywhere else. So this is what I know it looks squiggly, and I hate having messy charts. I like my charts to be clean. These are just levels. We're going to see reaction at these levels right now. We're not looking for a continuation down. We don't want to chase shorts here. I'd rather chase longs if this was going the other way there and betting on trends to kind of keep going. But right now, this is, well, if you're looking at our pivots, right now, we actually broke through. Yeah, I'm not putting any weight into pivots today. 2 o'clock, we'll see if anything conforms. But right now, we're breaking through stuff, right? We broke through, which was a declining 4-hour pivot. We broke through a 1-hour pivot there. We broke through 4. Kind of bounced at that, came back again. So I'm not really even using this graph today. I don't think. I'm going to use VWAP and levels today. VWAP, everything now is above. We did get a couple breaks at the open, right? But I'm going to go off of any bigger plays through levels here. And we'll see what we got from there. So obviously clean break here for Russell. We're going to take that off. I hate seeing these messy charts. Sometimes I go on like Twitch and I go on like these pages with these traders, and some of them like, wow, that's friggin' beautiful. That chart looks awesome. It's so meticulous. It's right there. It's right to the point there. Not 84,000 different indicators and stuff on it. Not lines all over the place. And sometimes I see it, I'm like, how can you understand it? Like, I guess it's yours. Like, you created how you wanted it, but I couldn't understand the chart with like that screaming. Even now, like, I mean, well, I have it the way I set up on purpose this way, right? So I have my levels on one, so I know all 4. I'm used to where everything is. But I don't have everything on one chart, right? You don't see like levels here and pivots here and VWAP here and walls here and hedge pressure here. No, that'd be crazy. And it'd be confusing. I rather, and the way I set up my 6 screens here is kind of with all these. So I have my walls here when I want to look at that and get confirmation. I'm looking, and every screen is kind of telling me a story. So if I have my levels that are telling me, which is a longer term, right? My levels are definitely longer term. They're 15-minute charts. I go back at least 2 to 3 days on them. Sometimes I go back 20 days on them. So it's showing me, okay, well, this is where the bigger fight should be happening right now. So if I'm chasing a trade to that point, that's what I'm doing. I'm waiting to that point. So it's always good to have a longer time frame, even when you're day trading. I have VWAP, which is where I make my entries through VWAP, right, which is a 1 minute shorter time frame. Sometimes I use like 200 ticks. Sometimes I use 500 ticks. 50 ticks I've used before, but 1 minute is cool because it's more universal. Like Nasdaq and S&P, they go through ticks quicker than the Dow and the Russell, so it's not as uniform. So I've been last maybe couple of weeks I've been using the 1 minute for my VWAP chart, and it's been all right. And then I have my pivots all structured the same way too. So I used to, when I started trading all 4 indices, I would have like the S&P here, like all 4 would be the S&P, and I'd have all 4 different things, right? So I'd have levels on one, I'd have my VWAP on another, I would have pivots on one, and I'd have walls on the other one, right? So it was all right, but I don't know, it wasn't uniform. It looked ugly, and I don't like ugly looking charts, even though these don't look too great right now. So please mind me. You guys know my charts are normally not as nutsos. But I didn't like it, so I thought more uniform now, doing it this way, and that's what I do. This is my setup. And I got my internals here. Internals right now are looking very bullish there. Let's fix, actually. Sometimes I feel like I don't show enough love to my internals. That sounded weird. All right, well, we broke through equilibrium on ad. Tick is still kind of hanging around right now, not telling us too much. We broke down again on VIX, which is good. So the long is in play right now. The long is winning. I like that. But also, look at this. Look at the levels. Now, we just kind of drew these out there, and we're finding fights, right? Found the fight there. Nasdaq is teetering around there also, but the bigger one is up here. We're hoping that it gets to it later, so it's still not making a new high. We want it to get here and just kind of scramble. We don't want any straight shots because we're not going to get in that trade. Little guys, and then we'll kind of see what it does there. I'm not looking to short this right now, guys, but I just want to see if a short setup is in play right now. And after the move yesterday, it might be. This is the week, all right? So this is the week so far. And even with this move up at the open here, like S&P is pretty much at even for the week. Nasdaq's still down for the week. Dow's up a little bit for the week. And the Russell's right about even for the week also, so. But what happens is that when this bull market, when you have that one bad day and even 2 bad days, they're all like, oh my God, we're losing it. But you understand that even so far, this is like an even week overall. So it's like a doji week. I would imagine that, like, if you're looking at a weekly candle, it probably looks like a doji right now. So yeah, guys, today is the Marine's birthday. If you know a Marine, thank him. Hoorah! We are going to take off now the red lines from yesterday. Let's remove those. All right, 10 o'clock is coming here. So now everything is still very, very bullish right here. Tick has not joined the party yet, but everything else has, right? So if we're looking at our pivots, everything being above any pullback to the pivots here, let's see if we get one that pushes off and we'll follow. Dow is the first one here. It looks like that it's going to be testing its 1 hour. So we're going to throw Dow right now at, we don't want to throw it here. Right? They do like those round numbers, Dow 36,200. But we'll be risking about 30 ticks. So risking $150 right now for a move up. See, I don't want to chase anything here, especially because he opened. We got the first half hour in right now, and everything is looking bullish, but that can correct quickly. We're at the top here, and after yesterday's bottom day, we're kind of getting to the top. And look at here. This is what's going to keep me out of this long here. It might break through, it might not, but look at this, guys. Look at the levels now. So the Dow got to a trend line and broke down. I don't want to catch this here and get it up. I'd rather catch it down here on this guy. If I'm going to trade a trend line here, I'm not trying to scalp this for 5 points to be a bigger. Now, it might, Dow, which is the top right, guys, it might turn around here and just kick up off that 4 hour pivot. It's possible. But we're not in a weekly trend up yet. So I don't want to take that trade just yet. We're actually kicking off a trend line coming down. So I'd rather wait for the Dow to get down here. If it does, and maybe consider a long there. Or wait for another option, another indice, another market to break through. So we haven't got that yet, so I'm going to pass on this Dow trade. Everything being above is a good chance. I mean, 50-50 is the best bet I can think about. I can think this is, but that this might pop off from here and jump again, or maybe even test its high and just make sure, hey, listen, are you sure? Like the market's saying, are you sure you want to stop there? Is this the number that you want to kind of come down for? So I don't know, but I'm not taking it from there. So ad is looking healthy for the up move. So we're going to go back and forth from levels and pivots probably for the whole session today. I'm not liking this trend line. We just did it there just to kind of keep an eye. We're going to get that out of there. I don't need this high either. Let's keep this uniform. All right, cool. Hey, I can go over the levels again for the S&P, the major levels anyway. I'm not getting into anything right now. The fight was at 46.68. This is where the fight was, and now it's just kind of obviously consolidating. My guess is probably going to tighten up around that number, but we broke through that. Our levels have been for S&P so far that I've been trying to make moves off of. I've been 43.18. Once we got confirmation, 44.35 was a long. We finally broke through 45.51. It took us 8 days from there to get to our next level, 46.68, which is where the fight is going on right now. So I can't tell you where to take a trade from. I don't tell anyone where to take a trade from. I'm not a licensed professional. This is not trade advice. This is just how I see the markets and I play the markets. If I were getting involved in this stuff, I'm not. Well, I'm not doing anything right now. I want to see I want to see us close and hold above 46.68 and kind of make my decisions there. Or if another indice were to break through, then maybe that would help as well too. But right now, it looks like it's just, to me, this is just a consolidation right now. So where we are right now, and even 1, 2, 3, let's go here. And even here, I mean, this level of resistance has been here, right? And we're still making lower lows here. So it's almost like it's channeling right now, right? I mean, you can make a case that this is a mini channel in between a level. And I can see the value in that, right? 1, 2. So if this is a mini channel right now, why would I want to long here? Why would I want to short here? I don't want to chase this thing around. If anything, I'm not shorting this here, but this would be a level that I would take probably. If I was long, I would probably take out 1 or 2 or my whole position here if I was scalping. It's a nice scalp too, right? If you got into this trade early, around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, 46.57, 57, you got yourself 20 points. That's a nice trade. So right now it's just testing still, but as it's testing though, S&P is it's making lower lows. So there are still other breaks to do. I don't like. I mean, I scalp a lot more than I do anything else, but I don't like trading longing when we're making lower lows. Right? I like longing those trends that are going up and up and up and up, and those that are legging up. This is the market's legging down. Momentarily as a whole, right? The overall longer picture, the market is very bullish. It's, I mean, took some profit. It looks like some profit taken yesterday, but nothing really crazy. And now it's doing what it's doing. It's leveling off right now. I mean, there's so many longs that are so green in the money right now that what are they scared of? You think yesterday scared those longs that are in this thing for holding for a while? No. It's the shorts that really can't build a position. Those shorts are spooked and at closing, and I don't blame it. So even if you caught the top, if you caught the Dow at 36446 on the button, you caught that short in the Dow. Are you happy? Are you you're holding? Are you comfortable holding over the weekend, knowing what the market's been doing for the last year? The comeback that this market's been on? No, of course you're nervous about holding. And even though you're only taking out 300 points, it's better than nothing. And you could wake up Monday right now, and this thing and the Dow get to 37,000. It's just possible, just the way it's going right now. So funny thing about that Dow pivot we were talking about there, it did actually bounce. We got that little higher high, and now it came back again. See that? We were just talking about this trade and would we consider it. And at this point now, too, you're in that 4-hour pivot, which is cool. It's an easy out here. So this wouldn't be a terrible scalp. If I was watching that at the 136.18, it's not a bad entry, actually. You're only really risking 20 points, and the risk reward, even to get to the top right now, you're looking at 40. So it's a 2-to-1 trade. If you got in at 180. I'm sorry, it's 63-to-1 trade. If you'd have caught the 180 Dow, you're looking at like a 3-to-1, 5-to-2 trade, or 7-to-2 trade. That's a decent return on investment. If a 4-hour would have lined up with like a VWAP touch, that would have been cool too. But I see a little bit more down here, possibly 36,160, and a push up would still be healthy. I like when VWAP aligns with other things. I like when it aligns up with like a red line or like a 1-hour pivot coming up. And the whole thing about going up here, we're not anywhere near a bear market, obviously, but yes, what's a good level to go long on the S&P here? Thing about it is that we don't know when we know where the fights are going to happen, but when this thing is going down, like even for a day or 2 days, it just takes one buyer just to gobble up, and everything is just following it, and all of a sudden it spikes up. Those big spikes you see, those big buy spikes, happen after big down. After down spikes, right? So it's like a catch up. So like, it's like that rubber band being like kind of pulled and pulled and pulled, and when it pops one way, it's like the slingshot ride at Great Adventure. It pulls you back, and it springs you up, and as much as you go up, you go down. Well, it's kind of the same thing as far as the market goes. Normally, when you're going up, you're climbing step by step by step by step, right? Like the adage goes, stairs up, elevator down. So you're climbing up little by little by little by little by little by little. Then when all of a sudden you're dropping down, right? You go down quick. But those big drops in these bull markets are caught by big buys. So I use a level system that shows me like where the overall fights are for on a larger scope. I mean, I can do day levels as well too, but I would need to have the top and the bottom in order that. So like you guys know, for my levels there, once completion happens, we need a kickback somewhere or another way in order to start setting up the whole thing again. And look at this. So the Dow did touch VWAP. It did break through its 4-hour. Yeah, I don't want anything to do with this right now. This is just not. I don't have that trader feel. This is something that I might get involved in maybe 12 o'clock or something. 12 o'clock, no, not 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock at the next range. I want to see some pivots holding up. I like to trade in trend days. I don't like to trade in chop. I'm not saying this is a chop, but if you're looking at our levels, what did I do? Yeah, this is ranging right now. Not a chop day, range day, I guess. Well, most days are range days, but they go through in a trend to that range. Well, hedge pressure, the way I use it, and most of the guys I know use, is that I just draw a box for it. So basically, how I use hedge pressure in my trades, well, my setups, I just draw a box. I'll put how big I want the box to be. I'll change the color. And then I move it around where I would like to move it around. So that's how I use hedge pressure. But I mean, there are different traders that use it in kind of different, not really different ways, but they look at the numbers maybe a little bit different. But setting up its fells, it doesn't. It's not like you don't put it into Thinkorswim. You kind of set up yourself. But today is not a hedge pressure day for me. This is going to be, if I do make any trades, VWAP level days. And we are looking at Dow and Russell testing VWAP here. And we are looking at the big brothers of the market, NASDAQ and the S&P. Hey, if you like, do we have any mods here? If you have any mods here, you want to reach out and you can help this gentleman out. So S&P and NASDAQ are really just kind of flying through right now. Let's see if we get the bounce. Yeah, guys, I'm looking like this is going to be a no trade day for me. Yeah, what I would hope to see today is that we do finish green all around, and that we do continue for another move up here. I don't want to see chop in this range that we're at right now. I don't want to see us below levels. All right, guys. I got 10:17 right now. Just give me a quick 3-minute break. I'll be right back. Hey guys, we're back. Hey, good morning. Morning. So we're talking about the levels that are being set up right now. I'm not looking to get into anything here. It's kind of waiting for a break. So I have here, these are the levels for the week so far, right? So as a whole for the week, Nasdaq is down a little bit. S&P is testing right now where it started the week. Dow and Russell kind of doing the same thing right now. So the market is just kind of, I mean, listen, it's probably exhausted, right? It's been a nice move that's been making so far. It's on some kind of run. So yesterday we saw a little bit of profit taking, which is fine. Yeah, I mean, if you hit the long earlier, that's awesome. Great job. Good for you. Happy. I didn't take anything. I haven't been making good trades to the open. You guys were on the show yesterday. You guys saw me. I got hit hard in the open. I got it back. I actually hit a nice short of the Dow that I got it back. I went positive like 200. I ended the day with. But yeah, I started off. I like the setup for a long and open, and I rarely trade opens. I did trade the open. I got hit from it, so I don't love trading opens. I kind of and I explained it earlier in the show as well. I'll explain it again. It's kind of like when you're watching something. Hey, good morning. It's kind of like when you're watching something on like on TV, like in subtitles, right? If you only have a minute to pick up 3 sentences, you're kind of breezing through those 3 sentences, right? Those subtitles. You're not really getting the full understanding. You're just kind of getting the gist of what's going on. But at lunchtime, I compare that to, like, let's say you have 5 minutes to read the same 3 sentences. You're going to read them and really truly understand them. So my stats say that I'm a lot better midday, like my from 10:30 to like 2:30, or like my prime time as far as trading goes. So I don't see any other point of sticking to what you're not good at. Now, if I had it, like, and I was explaining before, if I had a team of people that I watch, like, you watch this at open, you watch that, maybe I'd be a little bit more onto it. But when you're wrong in the open, 10 seconds later, you're down 20, 30 points, right? Hey, morning, everybody. So for me, if my my stats are telling me, these aren't just like a week of stats. My stats tell me, listen, Nick, you suck at the open, but you're actually pretty decent in the afternoon. Well, why trade at the open? I'd rather watch, let the market do what it's going to do. Kind of be smart about it. Guys, number one rule in this game is to try to stay alive, right? And again, I talk about all the time. I'm no guru. I'm not a guru. I'm not a licensed professional. I'm not giving trade advice on anything I'm saying. I'm just kind of hanging out talking to you guys about what I see in the market. And for my stats, if I'm going off of numbers that make sense, well, I'm going to go off of times that make sense. And my trading time is actually in 4 minutes from now is when my trades tend to be better than from the 9:30 hour. Now, there are some times that I do like morning trades when everything is looking bullish. It's just, you broke through levels pre-market there. Then I do take morning trades still. Or if I'm holding a trade from like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, let's say that I caught a really nice 4-hour pivot at 6 in the morning, that I was able to hold through to 9 o'clock. That's different because I'm already in the green. But just to kind of throw market orders in there, unless we're opening up right there, I have my hedge pressure there. I don't mind taking those longs if we open up right around that. I don't mind popping longs in, but I don't like adding on to losers. You guys who've been in the show before know that I don't like cost averaging myself in. If I'm in that range of a level, it's one thing, but I don't like, okay, well, I'm gonna jump in a trade at an ES trade at 46.70. I'll add on at 46.60. I'll add on at 46.50. I don't want to keep adding on because that one really bad day is the one that destroys you, right? So I'm a little backwards. I actually like adding on to my winners. I like when I break through a level on a winner, I like consolidation at that level and the bet for it to break through again. So when I start a trade, I'm very rarely in for more than one contract. And when I'm out of a trade for a really good, like my better trades, I'm probably long 3 to 4 contracts at the end. And those are on trend days and when everything is setting up short term, midterm, and long term for those trend days. Right now for the week, we're not trending. We're actually, for the most part, besides the NASDAQ, we're right around where we opened the week for, all around. So midterm, I don't love the long term. I'm still extremely bullish. Short term for the open, we were bullish. The Dow and the Russell did give back more than half of their gains, and actually they're in the red right now from True Open. Actually, the whole market right now, very, very small. Not a lot, but they are, for the most part, right now, everyone is in the red. So I have, there's nothing that's telling me that I should be getting into this market. So I'm not going to. Our internals are still bullish. We did pop above equilibrium on ad. We broke it down right now too. I mean, this could be a setup for another long. Tick has not been bullish right now. So for the most part, internals are telling me they're bullish, but nothing has really made its true decision yet. And it looks like NASDAQ and S&P probably just testing red lines coming up. And that's fine. Maybe there's a scalp to be had at the S&P red line. I can see like 46.67-ish being a decent number for support. But again, the range altogether, if you're looking at it through a level aspect, S&P right now is at the top of its quote-unquote daily range, and it's still making lower lows and lower highs. So I'm not quick to jump into this thing, even if it gets to that 46.68 level for S&P that we have been talking about for a couple weeks also. I'm not so eager to jump into that because this thing is just right now oscillating. So it's not using 46.68 as support and resistance. It's using it as equilibrium, and it's testing above and below. Now, if we do get that hold and the consolidation at 46.68, I will keep an eye on that. If we can get a couple of bars that are consolidating above that, that's something that I may take a bet for it to break through and then retest 46.90, 46.95 maybe. But this is not something that I'm looking to do right now. I have no trades in the pipeline right now. I don't see a reason to. So I don't know if you guys saw me posting. No, I was kind of teasing a little bit, but it really is true. I posted on I think on Twitter and Twits and stuff, and like this: don't overtrade. I will not overtrade. I will not overtrade. Like Bart Simpson on that wall. I will not overtrade. I will not overtrade. I will not. I'm not looking to overtrade right now either. Now VWAP is setting up right now. Nasdaq breaks through here. This is a long setup, but again, I don't want to take a trade long here into a range. If we were at the bottom end of the range, maybe I would take this trade. But at the top end, I'm betting to break through a level. And anytime we have anything, any kind of a number or a level or pivot or whatever you want to call it, I don't want to take a bet because it's just more enforcement, right? So like it's if you have a security system, it's just more security added to that level. So I don't want to take a bet that we're going to pass through it here. So I'm not taking this long. If we were in a trend up day, which we're not yet, if we were in a trend up day, I would probably take this trade going to the next level. But I don't have that feel. And neither does Dow, and neither does Russell. I would actually consider taking the Russell short before I take this S&P or NASDAQ long. I am not taking any right now. I would like to get confirmation all over. VIX is still bullish. AD right now is testing a low level, trying to break down again. Tick has been bearish as well too, so we don't really have confirmation as far as internals go. We don't have confirmation as far as VWAP goes. We have our levels that are just showing us different spots where the fights are going to happen. So I want something that's going to be really trending up. I like longing a hell of a lot more than I like shorting, and look what's happening now. Then there goes VWAP, right? So that long setup would have been okay if we were A, on the bottom of a range, or B, if everything was trending up, but our levels are not trending up. They're actually trending down. So until this corrects itself, which it could happen, I mean, an hour from now, it could happen at close, it could happen tomorrow, it could happen next week, but until it corrects itself and gets back into this long bull looking setup where we're breaking through levels and we're making higher lows, higher highs, and all that other fun jazz, I'm not looking to get into this, and I do not want to short. I hate shorting bull markets only when, like, if you get a crowd. Like yesterday, you guys heard me. I caught a really nice short. I got hit up hard early. I was the 2 contract trading, and I was down $800 within like not even 3 minutes, right? So that happened. I caught the trade. I took 2 or 3 setups. Again, 1 contract, 2 contract long, and I just got pile drived early. I was able to get it back with a nice setup for off the Dow short, and what it was that NASDAQ and S&P, which my theory is that those guys always play as big brother. They're kind of always leading the pack. Russell doesn't always follow suit with that, and then that's why I kind of nicknamed the Russell like the kid brother or like the little cousin. Kind of does his own thing once in a while when the big guys are playing. But the Dow was testing a red line as the NASDAQ and S&P were throwing up. So I took that Dow trade and I hit 100 points, 110 points, whatever, 120 all in, I think, for off of 2 contracts. So I was able to get back my loss from the open and make a little bit for myself yesterday. So it was decent. But again, if I'm really just going tight and disciplined for it, then I don't want to trade the opens. Most great traders trade the opens, and maybe they're just better traders than I am, and that's I'm totally fine with that. You got to know your strengths and your weaknesses. Some guys are just freaking great swing traders. Some guys are this absolute superstar scalpers. I'm neither. But my numbers say that I'm much better when I am scalping. I don't swing trade 'cause I don't hold overnight. I enjoy my sleep and I enjoy my sanity. And when I have held overnights before in the past, and for my actually, believe it or not, I feel like I have more stress on my winners, like making sure that you lock in that that win. But yeah, trading overnight, then I'm up every hour, 2 hours. I have alarms set for different times, and it just it really wasn't for me. So I do day trade. I trade I rarely trade pre-market. There are setups that I do like. If I'm up early and I'm 6 o'clock in the morning, kind of watching the market and seeing what's going on. If there's an event coming up or event happened last night, I want to see the action for it. There are times that I will take that 6, 7, or even 8 o'clock in the morning trade. Try to build up a little bit of steam going into the open. But for the most part, no. For the most part, I'm like a 10:30 trader to like 2:30. Yeah, that works for me. Know what you're good at and know where your levels are and know what your stats are. If you don't have stats, I mean, that's something that, I think if this is serious to anybody, I think that stats are important. Like, how do you know if your system is working? How do you know if your setups are working? And how do you know like what your A1 setups are? Like I have some setups that work out a hell of a lot more than other setups, but I have other setups that the return on investments a hell of a lot more than other setups. And I try to integrate both of those setups here, because if you just want like those, I have setups that are 10-to-1 setups. They don't work nearly as much as my 2-to-1 setups, and for obvious reasons, right? So if I only took 10-to-1 setups, their variance will tell me that I could be wrong 15 times in a row, 20 times in a row even. Variance is a big part of this, because no matter how you break it down, is guys, we're gambling. We are. I don't like whenever I hear someone saying that I have the magic potion or I have the secret for it. I tend not to believe that, because this is from experience, from my own personal experience. This is freaking hard, and I've studied a bunch of different setups and I've done systems and whatnot. I haven't really found anyone that's like, listen, this is a guaranteed 80% winner. But there are things that I have learned and I do believe along the way. Number one is that I don't really believe in all the I've tried MACD a long time ago. I didn't do well with MACD, and I studied it to the point where I understood it pretty well. I do like VWAP, and again, everything I use is not Bible. I use things just because they just kind of give me a structure. So I use VWAP only so I can have the understanding of if we're below. So I use VWAP as another equilibrium. I use that word a lot. So equilibrium, if you have 4 indices that are over that, or if they're all touching and they're kind of bouncing or they're basing around it, a lot of day traders do use that VWAP as a good indication for that. So if I'm trailing below it, or if I break through VWAP, give me an example. If we break through VWAP and hold underneath it there, that is a short setup. Now, I'm looking for confirmation from other things also, internals being pretty much number one, hedge pressure also up there. But hedge pressure, I like the open trades, and I do take them if we open up right at hedge pressure and we're just consolidating there, like for maybe first 30 minutes, minute, whatever. Those trades seem to have paid off more than the ones that I'm waiting here and I'm adding on and bumping through. I don't like those trades so much. When I first, the worst thing that could have happened to me, I'm sure to a lot of traders, the first couple of trades that I made, I won. And this is going back, I think 8 years ago now, maybe even more. But the first couple of trades that I made, and well, not this trade, because when I first started trading, I was trading stocks, and I put like 40,000 or 30,000 into the market. It was like 40, and I was just holding. I mean, very very safe, secure stocks. But it was boring to me watching these things go up a penny, 5 cents a day. So when I first got into day trading, when I kind of rushed myself into the world of crude oil, the worst thing that could have happened was that I hit my first like 3 or 4 trades. It was bleh. All right, so here we were kind of waiting for this. That is using equilibrium right now as resistance here. This could be the setup for a breakdown. So I was looking for anything here, like a quick scalp. I'd probably be looking for a short somewhere. Let's see if it does hold true there. But again, still, I mean, VIX is still bullish. Tick actually made a new high and kicked right back down again, so that's still neutral. I'm not going to give anything good one way or the other. So yeah, this is looking like a typical sit on hand day to me. This is, I mean, this is a day that you might get the big that I'm looking for anyway at the close. So maybe be like a close trade day. I do have some of those also where I do nothing at all until like that 3:30, 3:45 time frame. But as a whole, the market isn't really in unison if you're using VWAP as your barometer, right? You have the breakthrough right now. I'm not small time frame right now, like just daily. I'm neutral. I really am right now, and I think that the internals are telling us that they're neutral as well. So I'm not leaning one way or another way. I'm not looking to get into any trades right now until I get confirmation. So, I mean, long term, I'm definitely bullish. Well, midterm, if you're looking at just for the week, right? Our levels for the week right now. This is just the 3 days that we open right now. So we're kind of testing. Like, well, today that little open surge, we were kind of testing where we opened the week at, and it looks like we're kicking off right now. So midterm is I'm kind of I'm neutral, slightly bearish, but it's not anything that I'm looking to get into a trade for right now. Like that's not happening. And short term right now, I'm definitely not bullish. But I don't know that I'd be bearish. This is not these aren't places that I really enjoy trading. This is times where I would like to practice discipline. kind of sit out for a while. So for in our levels right now, and I just have some channels drawn and some trend lines drawn in the meantime for, because we're in between levels pretty much everywhere right now. So like 46.68 for the S&P right now as a level, and we're just using that right now as equilibrium. It's jumping up 20 points, jumping down 20 points, up, up. So it's tightening the range. I want to see a move when it finally tightens, and this could be today, this could be tomorrow, but once that 46.68 breaks and holds, I'll consider making a decision there. I would like to see this this little channel guy kind of break. Nasdaq doing the same thing, but everything right now is pointing down, and this is short to midterm. It's not long term. Long term, this is still extremely bullish. I think it's very healthy we get a pullback, but I want to make sure the pullback's over before I start pulling the trigger for longs, if that makes sense. And so yesterday, in my opinion, was nothing more than just profit taken at a different level, and that's where the big money decided to take some money out, and that's what they did. And then a lot of the day traders followed that, thinking it's like they're going to make $1 million on the short. Because when you're shorting there, it seems like you make your money really, really quick. I hit a nice short yesterday, too, that got me out of my hole from the morning. So that happens. That's part of it. Hey, what's up, Dougie's channel? What's going on, buddy? So right now, I'm going to be political and say that my opinion, well, actually not political, because politics is you're on one side or the other, but I'm going to say neutral. I'll say Switzerland. And right now, my opinion is that I don't have an opinion about for the short term anyway. I think that we're in a range right now. Same old. Yesterday, the guy saw me. I got hit hard in the morning in the open. I made it back and was plus by the afternoon. And we were talking about that now. My tendencies, my stats suggest that I'm a bad open trader, and I'm a good afternoon trader. And my stats at the close have been a lot better as well. So I'm waiting for a move right now. We're only really an hour and 15 into the open morning session, right? So we still have plenty of time for the day if something were to set up for it, but I'm not rushing in. I'm not jumping into trades. I'm not looking to overtrade at all right now. I'm just looking for setups. And right now, everything's kind of neutral. So I'm okay. I'm okay sitting out right now. S&P right now is at the top of that little kind of channel that formed from end of yesterday to today. What I want to see though, and S&P is using 46.68 as that equilibrium number right now, testing above and below. So we're just hanging out for that. Just looking on right now, what's going on? Just for the day, Nasdaq and S&P, it's trying to set up a little flag formation here. It's trying to get bullish, and it very well could get bullish and break through. And once we get that breakthrough, I may follow through with like a trailer indice, or like a trailer trade. By trailer trade, I mean when one indice pops off and breaks through, and internals agree with that, you can find a level that makes sense and be more confident in that trade. Like for the Dow, normally I take a lot of Dow trailer trades because S&P and Nasdaq normally are the leaders for it. Russell can do its own thing whenever it wants to do its own thing. I almost considered leaving the Russell out, but you can't leave the little brother out, the little cousin out. But I like taking trailer trades with Dow when Nasdaq and S&P make that big move, because I feel like the Dow is waiting to see if that's confirmed until that makes their move as well. So if we get a big pop from Nasdaq or S&P that breaks through one of our levels that we have up here, I might consider a Dow trade for the same thing. But again, there's no rush. We did have a couple of viewers here that did hit the open. They did make some money. Good for you guys. I mean, the open, it's been so bullshit. I'd say 70-80% of the last 2-3 weeks or last month's opens have been really good long setups. But I just don't like losing. Like even those drops, like 20-point drop quick, 40 points back. I don't like being in the red before I get in the green. I mean, and that's that's every trader, I guess, right? But I like picking spots where if I'm wrong, I'm not hurt. I don't mind losing 5-10 ticks. And yes, and you guys saw I lost 50 ticks within 10 seconds. Those open trades, they can get crazy. But when you hit them, though, like you hit them quick. I mean, a lot of guys make $2,000 the first 15 minutes and they're done for the day, and that's awesome. But I'm not there. I'm not that. I need to digest what's going on, kind of like what we're doing right now. And believe it or not, talking to you guys is actually is a nice help though, because I'm kind of vocalizing my thoughts and ideas, which I think does help me become a good trader or a better trader. This NASDAQ curvature right now off of VWAP is looking, let's get a little closer peek at that. I mean, this isn't looking bad. So 5 minutes ago, I said it was neutral. Right now, I'd say at NASDAQ and S&P, I'm more bullish than I am bearish. But it's not something that I'm looking to get into a trade for. But I could see some scalp opportunities here, right? Even for a second test at the 16,220 number for NASDAQ would make sense. And the same token, though, Russell is looking like a bearish setup here. I also feel a lot better taking trades when the whole market is kind of leaning in one direction right now. And not that, I mean, I don't put as much stock into the Russell as I do in the S&P and the NASDAQ or even the Dow, but I would like it all to be in unison. There are some great days I have catching longs in NASDAQ or even catching longs in S&P where the Russell is just kind of throwing up on itself. Again, it happens. But I feel more comfortable when everything is in unison. I feel a lot more comfortable when the internals are in unison. And what I call the internals, what I consider the internals for, and guys have different things. And I mean, I didn't make up the word internals for trading. I use tick, add, and VIX. You can use USAD, ASD, just for the S&P. So there are other things you can use as well. But for me, my internal list is tick, add, and VIX. We got some new guys into the show. Cool. Thanks for coming on and hanging out with us. If you want to say hi, introduce yourselves. Love to hear from you. Today is actually the Marines' birthday. It's Semper Fi, hoorah. Tomorrow is Veterans Day. I actually have a scholarship tournament. I was talking about that earlier that I started up. That'll be this Sunday. We're going to give a local ROTC member, and it was a young lady who won the scholarship. She's fantastic. Extremely excited about giving this up, about giving up the scholarship to her on Sunday. And it's been taking up a lot of my time for the last really 3 months though. So I'm kind of excited to take a little bit of a break and just kind of focus on trading and other stuff like that. What's up, guys? Good. Is it still morning? Yeah, 11 o'clock. Still, happy morning. Good morning to everybody. Cheers. You know what I got into this year? Iced coffee. This is not iced coffee. This was, it was fresh coffee in the morning at 9:30. Now it's becoming a little icy. But I never liked the idea of iced coffee. I don't know. Kind of different. It's like, I guess chocolate milk is iced hot chocolate. It wasn't really for me. So, guys, if you're just tuning in now, I haven't taken a trade today. I'm not looking like I'm taking a trade right now. There's just no follow through on anything. Kind of rangy right now. We did have a nice open. Some of our guys did catch a nice long in the open. I am staying out of trading until 10 o'clock. I may make that a rule for a while too. Cold brew. So I'm not in anything right now. I'm not looking to get anything either right now. What I want is to confirm that the Bulls have kind of taken over, and right now everything is still kind. This is for the week, right? So we have Nasdaq on the top left, we have S&P in the bottom left, Dow top right, and the Russell on the bottom right, and everything is just kind of rangy right now. So there was a setup for the S&P, but I didn't like it because we were at the top of this little. I mean, not that this channel is the hardest core resistance ever, though, but it's there. So I don't want to go against it. Just adding another level of security for the shorts. So I passed up on the long there. If we get a breakthrough here, we break through this channel, then maybe I consider getting long later on. But I need something to tell me that not that this short is, again, this market is not a bear market. It's a complete bull market. So I'm not seeing for any other reason than that. Those hopes if you have beans laying around, they supposedly taste. Yeah, I'm not a huge caffeine guy. Like, I don't do espresso. Like, I don't like that feeling of like that kind of jittery feeling. But for the mornings, though, a cup of coffee does. I mean, I think I'm just more used to it now than anything else. But on weekends, I don't drink coffee. It's weird. During the week, I do, and not because like a lot of guys when they're going to work. Oh, I got a long day of work. I mean, guys, I come on and talk about trading. Like, this is awesome. But for me, I have a cup of coffee in the morning. I think it just kind of gets my brain right. But I don't like that strong stuff. Like, I had a friend I used to work with years ago that he used to bring in this Colombian coffee. Like, it was like straight caffeine, and the whole day I'm like this, I'm moving around. It was crazy. Yeah, Red Bulls. When Red Bulls first came out, I was young, and yeah, I used to do the Red Bull thing too. But even Red Bulls, I got very like I don't not gassy is the word, but I felt like I don't know, like bloated. I don't think that's the word. The sugar-free ones are a little bit better, but Red Bull is like it really fills you up. It's very filling. Man, that's the word I'm looking for. It's extremely filling. Red Bull. Remember those commercials? Red Bull gives you wings. Do they still? I don't think I see those commercials anymore. I guess they already made their name, so people know the name Red Bull anymore. They don't have to advertise for millions of dollars anymore. I always thought that was cool too, to be an advertisement, right? And like make the commercials, like to build a commercial of someone that's going to like actually gets brand awareness. Like, there's so many dumb, stupid commercials that is so friggin' genius, right? Like that little gecko from Geico, like, hey, that guy's funny. Even the caveman guy, like the caveman from Geico, and then the Jake from State Farm, the khaki pants guy. These are such simple but genius ideas. I actually enjoy the commercials for the last year's Super Bowl. I thought had terrible commercials, but for the most part, some of them are really, really cool. And I mean, I enjoy football, so I'm always watching games and stuff. Like, we have football Sunday at the house and that kind of thing. But wait, they got sued for what? They got sued for saying, "A Red Bull gives you wings." Get out of here. Is that what they got sued for? Why? How can you sue for that? Did someone really think that you were gonna get away? You know, someone sued McDonald's because the coffee was too hot and they burnt their mouth, and they won. And I get, and then I remember reading about this. This is a while back too. But the idea was that coffee can only be brewed at, let's say, 120 degrees. I don't know what the number is, but let's say it was. And they tested the coffee that came out of this McDonald's and most McDonald's, and they come out at like 125 degrees or 130. So they weren't like crazy off, but they were over what it's supposed to come out at. But guys, I mean, does anyone get a cup of coffee anywhere and not like let the steam out a little bit first, or just let it touch your lips like slowly? Like normally when I get a cup of coffee at like a deli, or if I go to like anywhere really to get a cup of coffee, I wait a minute before I drink the coffee. I don't just, oh my god, coffee. I kind of wait and enjoy it and nurse and let it cool down a little bit. Anyway, so this lady sued McDonald's and she won, I don't know, million, 2 million, whatever it was. She sued for coffee because it was too hot. Now I don't know. I mean, I don't know the like every part of the case. Like maybe there is something to that. Like maybe it didn't come. It wasn't like it came out at 200 degrees because I mean it would go through the cup, right? But it came out higher than what's the allotted levels for it. So I guess for that alone, McDonald's was wrong. So I get why she won. But I would never think about suing a fast food restaurant for the coffee being hot. It's like kind of suing them because you have high cholesterol. Like I don't know. Like, and I wonder if that's happened. Has anyone ever sued McDonald's because they were like obese or any of these fast food restaurants? I wonder if that's ever happened. Is that what you heard? Maybe that's I don't. I thought she tasted. I didn't think she spilled on it, but maybe that's maybe it's the same one. I'm missing it. This is a while ago, or maybe it's a different one. But I thought that she burned her mouth, and she went to the ER. And listen, I mean, I burnt my mouth on coffee also, but and on other things like you take something out of the microwave and it's hot, and you take a bite and the steam comes out. So I burnt my mouth also, and you kind of get that weird feeling in the back of like your on the top of your gum line and stuff. So I get what that happened, but. Oh, she burned herself with. Oh, maybe that's different then. And I'm not saying right or wrong right now. I just thought it was weird that kind of happened. But also, she spilled it in the drive-through and she burnt herself. Okay, and that. All right, so that's how they tested it. Well, I guess that makes more sense. So she wasn't just being silly and drinking ridiculously hot coffee. She actually took the coffee, probably in one of those packets, or put it between the legs, whatever, and then it spilled on it. Okay, all right. Interesting. I didn't think that was the one. I thought it was somebody who just took a sip of the coffee and it burnt her mouth. That's how I remembered it. But there was one major lawsuit for it, so that could be what it was. Maybe she had it between her legs and then she just spilled on her legs or whatever. That's possible. Any of you guys ever heard of that though? Like, has anyone ever sued McDonald's for like obesity or like high blood pressure or cholesterol or something? I know that like in the last maybe 10 years, and you guys have probably seen it too, everything now in a fast food restaurant, they have to have the calorie intake. Some of them have carbohydrate intake. So like all that stuff that's on the back of everything that you eat, right? Like on the back of the packages, that's all now kind of on the screen. So it's not just like 10-piece chicken nuggets, like 10-piece chicken nugget, 847 calories. Large soda, 575 calories. Some even have sugar intake and stuff. So my guess is that because they're doing that, I don't think they did it on their own. Like I don't think McDonald's said, "I'm going to change 100 million signs to have the calorie intake." I don't think that was part of their plan. Maybe it was. Maybe they just wanted to be a little more conscious, knowing where this was kind of going. But now all of a sudden, everywhere you go, you see the calorie intake for like it's like a more of a big deal. I guess. I mean, I know as maybe the mayor said it because I remember Bloomberg in New York was the first one that he stopped. You couldn't get big gulps. You couldn't get more than one. What was it? You couldn't get one supersize soft drink anymore in New York. For yourself. So he was the first one that started trying to attack health. He's like, yeah, everyone's only allowed to get. I mean, I don't drink soda. I very, very rarely drink soda. I mean, it tastes freaking awesome, but I know it's terrible for you. You ever take soda and pour it like on a sink and see it fizz up and stuff? So one time, one kid in like I think it was high school did a science project on what's in like all this stuff, and not I mean what's in soda in general, the carbonation, it makes it do all that stuff. Yeah, supersize got taken away from everybody, right? I mean, it's healthy, but how do you not let the people decide what they want? I mean, the problem is there's so many options right now, and maybe because when we were younger, like, listen, I was a Happy Meal kid when I was young. I got the Happy Meal, I got my toy. I was happier than anything with my 4 or 6 piece. I think it was 6 piece back then, Happy Meal. Now, you see the Happy Meals, they come with like a slice. You get your chicken or your cheeseburger, your fries, you get a slice of apples. It's like, well, you just gave me a cheeseburger and fries. So what do I need the apples for? But I was a Happy Meal kid when I was young. But also, I think the difference between then and now is that the kids then were, what I see, a lot more active. Now, I'm lucky that my son is extremely active, and I like that. He's not a video game kid. He's an outdoors kid, and he's outside, always in parks and playing ball and all. He's very much into sports, and I'm very, very happy about that. And when I was a kid, we all were like that too. So I don't remember anyone really eating healthy when I was young growing up, but we were always burning. Yeah, need that dessert. But we were always burning calories. I mean, for us, it was stickball, box ball, football. I mean, we were seasonal. Basketball. I mean, whatever the season was that we saw games on TV, we were playing them at home. And we had parks. Everyone's backyard had well, not everyone's had a pool. Only 2 or 3 of us had pools, but they all had a basketball hoop somewhere, or like a box. I don't know if you guys know box ball, but box ball was set up somewhere. So we were constantly moving around. So what you ate wasn't as big of a deal, I guess, then, like growing up in like the 80s and even like the early 90s, because the kids were still active. It's when, and I remember the first time I got Atari, I was young when Atari came out, and then Sega, and then Nintendo, then Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo. Before Atari and Sega, I mean, and they were cool to do, but that was like what we did, like when it rained. Like, because if you looked at the graphics from an Atari, if you never heard of Atari before, anybody younger than that, take a look at the graphics for those games. They were pitiful, but they were cool enough to get you by on like a rainy day. Now the games they have, you guys see Madden now, like you need, I mean, you need to really be a football coach to really play these games. These guys are playing at a different level. They're playing these war games. What's the game that was real popular during COVID? All the kids were playing this game. It was a fighting game, right? So it's you and like let's say 10 of your friends, and you can go travel all these different kind of countries, and it's all one big map. Man, it was the most popular game. My kids have a shirt from it. What the hell is this game? If anybody help me out, please. But my mind is still wacky since COVID. It's just the way it is. It was the most popular game in the world during COVID. It still is kind of all like the streams. If you go through Twitch, they're all streaming this game still. Not Minecraft, not Roblox. In any case, I'm sure it'll come to me. But all these kids are playing this game. They're all on the phones with they have their headsets on. They're talking. Oh, I'm over here. I'm behind the thing. I'm behind this, behind that. It's crazy the way what these games are right now. And it's cool that you can play a game like that. Like you look at even the virtual reality stuff is fantastic, but these kids aren't getting anything out of it though. Like at least the Wii, remember when the Wii came out? The Wii, at least you're moving around a little bit. So parents were all trying to get the Wiis for their kids, because you had the Wii Fit you can play. You were running around the boxing game. You're doing this and you're moving around. But for the most part, a lot of these kids are heavily into video games. And listen, these games too have been, I read a study that these games actually, if a kid is a good video gamer, it actually helps the intelligence or something. Like he works how to use his brain a little more critically. So there are benefits for these video games also, but like anything else, there's probably got to be a balance for it, right? So in any case, so now you have a lot of kids who aren't as active as they were in past generations. Fortnite, you got it. Awesome. How did I not remember Fortnite? Fortnite is what I was talking about. So, I mean, these games, like, and I've tried too during COVID, like when we all were just really doing nothing, right? So I play with my kids a couple times. I'm not very good at it, but I did play with my kids a couple times for it. But they're not very good either. But again, they're not video game kids. My daughter more so than my son. My son is just, I mean, he's like the first one dead all the time, and they yell at him because why aren't you hiding? I don't know, whatever. But so anyway, the point is that our food really didn't change drastically for the last 20, 30 years, but our exercise levels kind of had, right? I mean, there are still sports for kids, and COVID was like the worst. I mean, my son, who's like was skinny as a rail through that COVID year, for the first time ever, he had a little belly because, again, he didn't change his eating habits. I mean, he used to eat a ton of oatmeal. Now he went from oatmeal to like porridge and whatever else. But instead of being active 24/7, playing in 5 basketball games a week, 5 football games, 2 the whole 9 yards, he went from that to doing nothing, but his eating habits didn't change. So he's not burning calories, and all of a sudden he got a belly. I mean, when we opened up last year, he lost that real quick. He got back into sports, and he plays a ton of activities. But it was weird seeing that, and like that's like a microcosm of what's going on like in the world, right? We were all kind of doing the same thing. It's crazy. But so the point of it that we got into this video games because I'm not into any trades and I don't see any setups I like. So we're just talking right now. But the point of it is that these kids, unfortunately, they lost. They have more opportunities right now to do other things with the cell phones. Every 11-year-old has a cell phone right now. They all have an Xbox or a PlayStation or any all of that kind of stuff too. And unfortunately, they lost that a slight I feel creativity, because instead of going out creating games and that kind of stuff, now they're on their phones, they're texting their friends. It's Snap, there's Snapchat, there's TikTok, and they're making these videos. So they're also losing how to interact with other kids. I mean, they have friends in school and whatnot, but now they're wearing a mask, and they're not really talking too much to the kids. You can't really gather too much around, even still to this day. So all they know how to do is text their friends when they want something. Like, we used to knock on doors. You guys remember that? We used to knock on doors. Hey, is Billy home? Can he come play? Hey, is Bobby home? Can he come play? Is Jimmy there? No, Jimmy's on punishment. And the kid that was on punishment, what did he do? He went to the roof of his house, right? And he watched you guys play from the roof, all pissed off. That's how it was then. Now they text each other or they call each other. I mean, in my neighborhood there's 4 or 5 kids that are always at the park, and I love that. I love dropping them off there. They play basketball and whatever they want to do. They go to the soccer field now and they play football in the soccer field. But I have a lot of nephews that that don't do that. That they want to be home and they want to play video games, and they don't want to really do that. But I don't know. I think that the more options you have, I think the harder it is to kind of be, I guess, well-rounded. And even that, if you watch these kids, like I remember, I mean, again, my day, I feel like I'm old and I'm kind of preaching this. But when I was young, we had to make conversation, right? We had to, like, the first girl you liked, you had to talk to the girl. You didn't text her. You tried to find a way to talk to her and find, like, common interests and stuff, right? If you had friends in the basketball team, hey, what's up? You want to hang out? And you didn't give him your cell phone or, like, your Snap or your Instagram. Like, you got his house phone number. When you called, his mother or father would pick up and hey, is David home? And you talked on the phone, and the phone had cords, and you had to stay by the kitchen and lay down on the floor. I don't know, different time. So I don't know, I guess what I'm trying to say is technology is awesome, and it's fantastic, the stuff that has been done in the last 20 years that I've seen in my lifetime, and the changes and everything, but it's not all that great in certain ways. Like, it's like I hate that my kids are so dependent on their phones. Like, they both have chargers next to their beds, and whenever if it buzzes or anything like that, and they never stop buzzing, right away they're up. And I don't like that. And then as a parent, it's a tough decision, right? Like, I have a high schooler and I have a middle schooler, and they both have cell phones and they both know how to use them very well, but it's tough. If all their friends have them, I mean, I know it's not a reason why, but do you want to have your kid be the outcast, not having a cell phone and missing out on that stuff? Or, like I did, I gave in and got them these cell phones so they can, unfortunately, use them. So even things like dinner conversations at night, like I try to have rules like that, like when we're at the dinner table, no cell phones. But even that, so now you're not getting the full conversation. You're getting like a real quick scripted conversation because they want to get out of that and they want to go back on their phones. It's tough. So technology has its advantages and definitely disadvantages. But I guess that's how they felt from the guys growing up in the 50s and 60s, and then when they saw us. And look at you guys with your fancy fax machines and your what do they call that first computer? Like the ROM DOS, your computers and stuff. I remember using a word processor to write book reports. You guys know what a word processor is? It's like a glorified typewriter. It's really all it is. I remember we had a word processor, and we had Encyclopedia Britannicas. Before there was Google, you had your Encyclopedia Britannicas, and those things were like this thick. Remember those books? Like A was here, B was, and you looked up what you wanted to write your book report on. Could it be prehistoric dinosaurs or whatever it was? And you read about it, you made notes, and then you either wrote it on a piece of loose leaf paper, your report, or you typed it on your word processor or a typewriter. I've used typewriters also, and they're I don't know how we ever did that, but I did use a typewriter. I actually learned how to type from a typewriter. And if you messed up, you had to, oh God, it was a pain in the ass to erase that, because it was an erase kind of thing, but it never really worked. The Tandy 1000, yeah. I remember the first computer I had with internet, I was in high school, and maybe eighth grade or high school. I don't quite remember, but I remember that noise, right? So like, oh, you want to go online, and it came with that disc. Everyone came with that CD, right? And it said AOL America Online. And so, and you put it in there, and you download this thing, and you don't know what you're doing. Make a screen name. So I was like J Skills 5. I don't know. Everyone had a dumb screen name, right? So anyway, so now you make this thing. You press sign on. You have to plug in your home telephone, right? So you plug in your home telephone to this thing. You press sign on. And all of a sudden, it's dialing. Doot, 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 doot. And then if you finally get connected, it goes dang, dang, ba, 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 da. That's what it did. It was, and then you're online right now. And then you make your friend groups, and then that was the start. That was the beginning of the end, I think, because then you had people that was the first case. Then you had your chat rooms, and if you weren't invited into one of your friends' chat rooms, or if you didn't IM them first when you signed on, or if they saw you and didn't IM you, what are you mad at me? That was that was probably the beginning of the end. Crazy. I remember that. And we only had one phone line. No one had cell phones back then, so you had your phone line there. And if someone picked up the call, right, you got disconnected. And sometime when you're trying to sign on at like the hot times, like after school or like 7, 8 o'clock, when you want to hang out with your friends at night before you go to bed on your computer, so it takes you 45 minutes sometimes to sign on because it's a busy signal. It's like you're calling in somewhere. So you sign on busy. 45 minutes later, you finally get on. And you're in a conversation with your friends or maybe a girl you like, whatever, and all of a sudden you get disconnected. Your mom picks up the phone. Like, Ma, get off. I'm online. Oh, man, it was the worst. Finally, a year or two later, I got my own phone line in my room. I had my answering machine. I thought I was cool. I had my own plug-in for my online so no one could kick me off. And then Wi-Fi came out. There's always something new coming out. But AOL, that was I had a post on social media like type in your first AOL name, your first screen name ever, and some of the answers were just awful. Oh. But that's it. All right. The market now is doing the afternoon dance right now. Bringing the view app. Nothing for me. Nothing at all. Hey guys, I got 11:17. I'm going to take a quick 3 minutes. I will be right back. Hey guys. All right. So I was correct in saying that this is a stay out day for me. So we have 11:40 right now. We'll hang out for a little bit. Well, I think this is kind of I think this is actually a rational thing what's happening right now in the market. It's not really making a move either way because we had a decent enough kind of short day yesterday that's leading into this. Right? So now the market is it's not giving up anything. So it's I think it's tough to have a back to back or even like a back to back to back or even a week down. For a little bit right now until the market kind of gets its footing. It's been climbing so much for so long, guys. I mean, let's just go back a little bit here. I mean, overall, bigger scope right now, we have to test some levels before we can move back up. I mean, nothing's going straight up forever, and it kind of felt like it was. When I first started trading, I felt like every day, and I talk about this too. I felt like every day you had to make it. Oh, if I make 500 a day, that's going to be That's going to be $2,500 a week and $10,000 a month, and this is going to be great. The more and more I got into trading, the heavier I did. Those sit out days are so essential for staying alive and for building, right? And so today was going to be one of those days. So on that, guys, we'll hang out for a little while. I want to see actually if we can break through here. So we'll give it a little bit of time. But so from my perspective, and again, all I do is talk about my perspective. From my perspective, that trading, I think you have to be engaged at all times. And even if you're only a morning trader or an afternoon trader, I think you have to have a feel. So whether or not you're watching from 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock every day, or if you're waking up early to kind of gauge what happened last night at close, you have to have that system. You have to have a plan going into it. And a lot of guys are really great at making those plans. There are a lot of good traders that I've been around that are really good at that. And that's kind of the idea for it. So every morning, I do try to put a plan together. Okay, well, if this happens and this, and if this happens and that. And I use my levels as structure for those kind of plans. Okay, well, if we're basing here, and you guys hear me talking about today until tomorrow's trade, I'm going to talk about it now. If we can close about 46.68 today in the S&P, I'm looking for more upside tomorrow. We're far away now from that the 16,378 for Nasdaq that we were at for the last 3 days, and I said the same thing then as well. I wanted a close above that, for me to look at the next leg up. We didn't get that. We're getting some back testing right now. I feel that we're going to be setting up probably very soon for another good move, another healthy move up. So I just want to get that where the confirmation for, because right now I'm fighting off of a small trend down, and I don't want to fight anything right now. I want to have clear skies going up, and I don't feel like I have that right now. So I'm going to hang out. I'm going to sit tight. I'm going to wait for those clear skies. So right now I feel like just a lot of congestion going on. Again, this is well, yesterday I felt was profit taken. It was a lot sharper and faster than it was that one or two moves that we had. And I retested again, then it kind of just hung out around that. So we had that one big break move down, which again I feel is just profit taking. And now today we're kind of just sitting around testing, seeing if we have the buyer stepping up here. We can have buyers step up any second, guys, and push this thing back up again. But we don't know where it's going to be. So I don't have to be early, or I don't have to be first for that long when it does sit up there, but I would rather be right. So I'm waiting for a long setup, which may happen later today. It might happen tomorrow. Could happen Friday. Not really sure. But that's what I'm waiting for right now, guys. And as evident, we tested that channel again, and this is a downward channel here. And one of my first rules that I made for myself, when I got into channels, which I do see important because it just show you the ranges that they're trying to test, right? And that's nothing more than what's going on right now, and that's happening in NASDAQ. It's happening right now in the S&P. If the channel is trending down, which obviously this is trending down right now, I don't want to look for longs. And more so than not, you guys know how I feel about it. I like to long 80% of the time. So if we're trending down right now, I don't want that. I would rather this be flipped around where like this channel is trending up. We're making higher lows and higher highs, and then take those longs at those levels. I much rather do that than get involved in this and try to catch the reversal where we do start trending up again for that mid-range. So for me now, I do not want a short. I want a long, and I don't have any setups for that. So I need some breakthroughs. So we may get a breakthrough today at close. It could be, in the 2 o'clock hour, we get some volume back in here. It could be tomorrow. It could be overnight. It could be whenever. But I want to see that breakthrough before I can start pursuing a long again. And that's my strategy going on for this week right now. So if we do get that breakthrough, you will see me taking long trades. If we don't get that breakthrough, this may be a week of me just hanging out talking to you guys. But I'm not in a rush. I'd rather be right than early. So those are my thoughts. Those are my feelings. And on that, we're going to end today's show. And I will see you guys tomorrow.